Maybe you drive a Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, but you got a job promotion that came with a sweet pay raise and you want to upgrade your car, but you don't want to get rid of that efficiency and that reliability that you've become so accustomed to. Well, this Lexus NX Hybrid might be a great pick for you because those two SUVs are very closely related, except this one comes with all the fancy features and a badge to make it feel like you really leveled up.
For more expert car reviews, don't forget to share our channel and subscribe so you can catch some of this and maybe even a little of that.
Somebody told me that this Lexus NX is nothing but a tarted up RAV4. And I was like, tell me how that's a bad thing, you know? Because everything that makes the RAV4 Hybrid good also makes this NX Hybrid good, okay? So it's very efficient. It has a reputation for reliability and it's made in Canada. All of those are good things. And the only real difference is that the NX is much more dignified because it is a luxury vehicle. But sitting in the inside, nothing around here looks like it's from the RAV4. So I think Toyota and Lexus did a great job differentiating the two. And really, the only thing that they share is that platform. And it's a really, really good platform. So it is powered by a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, and it's combined with Toyota's really, really good self-charging hybrid system. And I love this hybrid system because it's so clever. It enables all-wheel drive without a real penalty on your fuel economy. That's what makes it so efficient. So it has a net total output of 240 horsepower. That's an okay amount of power. Like, this SUV is not going to be fast, but it has more than enough passing power, and it only struggles a little bit when you really put your foot into it and it gets kind of noisy. But other than that, it is totally fine. And what I love about this system is that it predominantly drives the front wheels until more traction is needed, and then an electric motor on the rear axle sends power back there to enable all-wheel drive. And I love this whole setup because it requires absolutely no intervention from the driver, and it's so easy to drive efficiently. Like, I haven't been doing anything special except driving it in eco mode, and I've been getting about 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers, which is a little bit worse than its combined 6-liter rating, but it is winter. I'm on winter tires, so in the summer you can definitely expect better efficiency. So in terms of driving dynamics, the NX is also much nicer to drive than the RAV4. So the steering is a lot heavier in here, and it's also geared more towards comfort than sport, which is how it should be. You know, it's really good at soaking up rough roads and potholes. And it actually feels pretty decent in a corner, which I was surprised about. But obviously you're not going to want to hustle it really quick through corners because the body does move around a little bit. And this Lexus definitely shines a lot more when you drive it more calmly, because that's also what's going to give you better efficiency. And another thing I love about this is that at the end of every drive, it'll tell you exactly how much you've done in EV power. I've seen up to at least 60% done in EV power. And that just means really great efficiency. And it runs in EV power in low power situations like when you're parking or when you're coasting. But again, needs no intervention from the driver. It is so easy. So like I said earlier, the interior of this NX Hybrid is really nice. They use a lot of different materials and different textures to keep things interesting. There's not a lot of hard plastic in here, and it has some upgrades. So the last time I drove this NX, it was 2022, and I really didn't like the infotainment system. But since then, they've made some updates. The best update is that now there is a tray of shortcuts that is always visible, even when you're in Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. And that just means it's easier for you to flip between the car's different functions. It reduces the amount of tapping you need to get stuff done, and that makes it way more user-friendly. The other thing that makes it more user-friendly is that it has a couple knobs and buttons to use, but I really wish there were more hard buttons because that makes things more user-friendly. But the system itself is quite good. You know, it's pretty fast to react. Maybe some of the menus could be organized a little bit better, but in general, I really love it. It has standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But one of the issues is that the wireless setup is only available with a certain upgrade package, and I'll get back to that later, but I do think that should be considered as standard. There are some other weird ergonomic choices that really bother me in this NX though. Like, first of all, I really don't like this little shifter. When you need a diagram to show you how a shifter works, that to me is a failed design. It should be way easier than that. And the other thing that's really annoying are the door handles. So instead of a physical lever that people pull to open the doors, which is how all other doors open, it is an electronic lever. And I know why they did that. So they used that so they would have features such as safe exit assist, which will basically lock the doors and prevent you from leaving if it senses that there's an incoming car or cyclist. It's a great safety feature. But other automakers have figured out how to have that safety feature without redesigning the door handle for no good reason. And this door handle is so annoying because it's not user-friendly. I've had to explain to every single passenger I had how to use it. I had people trying to use the window switches, I had people trying to pull the lever, and it really is just a failed design. A door handle should be the easiest thing to use, so I really hope that they change that for the next generation model. On the bright side, this Lexus NX Hybrid is absolutely packed with every single safety feature that Lexus has to offer, and I always love when they do that. But on the downside, those safety systems are so sensitive and they're always beeping at me. And I know you can adjust their sensitivity, but even on their lowest level, it thinks everything is an emergency. It's always beeping at me, and it's not always great at telling you why it's beeping at you. And so with the constant beeping, you end up just ignoring the safety warnings, which means that the safety systems end up being not very useful, because if you're just ignoring all the warnings, then what is it doing? In terms of practicality, it's pretty good in here. The trunk is pretty big. It's nice big size. The seats fold down in a 40-60 pattern, so I kind of wish it folded in a 40-20-40 pattern, which just makes it a little bit more practical. And I also think the lift over height is a little bit high, so it just takes a bit more effort to load and unload things. But inside here, there's a lot of storage for small items. It's got big door pockets. This console under the armrest is really cool because it opens both ways, which makes it a lot more practical. And then finally, I love the paint color. It's called Nori Green or something like that. And if you have a Lexus, if you're buying a Lexus and you don't opt for a fun color, what a waste, because there are so many of these Lexuses out there. They're so popular. And so I think getting a fun color would just help it stand out more. So definitely go for the green. So pricing for this 2025 Lexus NX Hybrid starts at around 52 grand, and that's before destination. The one I'm driving has a very expensive upgrade package. It's 13 grand. It's called the executive package. And I think a lot of the features in this package are absolutely necessary for the whole experience. But that means that this NX ends up costing like $72,000 before tax, but including destination. And I do really feel like that a lot of those features included in this package should be considered standard. It's stuff like wireless Apple CarPlay, it's a head-up display, ambient lighting. Like, these are things that are necessary for the luxury car experience. And in the end, I think that 72,000 bucks is a little bit expensive for this vehicle. It's good, but it doesn't go above and beyond. So I wish it was just a little bit more affordable. To recap, I love the Lexus NX Hybrid's efficient powertrain, smooth driving, and the fact that it's made in Canada. I'm not a huge fan of the overactive safety systems or some of the annoying interface choices. The Lexus NX Hybrid is a really well-rounded crossover, and while it might not feel as special as some of its competitors, it is way more efficient than any of them, and you can't argue with that rock-solid reputation for reliability.